What is finally in Java and what it is used for? Finally is a block that is used in exception handling for resource cleanup. Finally is a block in exception handling which is used with try catch to handle the exceptions. It will always execute after the try catch block, no matter try catch executes or not. It is used mostly for the resource cleanup, such as closing the files, closing the DB connections, etc. Now, one thing, it cannot exist independently. It will only exist with a try block. Now, here we can ignore the catch block. It will only look for the try block. Now, let's look at some of the important but unique questions regarding a finally block that will deeper our understanding. First is, can finally have a return statement, or can try catch block have return statements? Yes, try catch or finally block can contain a return statement, but if finally block contains a return statement, it will override the return in try and catch block. As we know, finally will always execute and execute at the end of try catch, so it will return its value overriding the try catch return statement. So this can hide the exceptions, the original exceptions, and we may not able to find the root cause. So it is generally avoided to have return statements in finally block. The second most important question is, can finally block ever not execute? Yes, there are some cases where finally block will not execute. Hearing that finally block will always execute and execute after the try catch. But wait, there are some cases where final block will not execute. What are those cases? System.exit. It is a statement if you use in the try catch block, it will suddenly stops the normal flow of function and finally block will not execute. JVM crash. If JVM crash abruptly, finally block will not execute. Other examples are power failure and infinite loop. If try catch block contains an infinite loop that will keep on executing and finally block will not execute at all. So finally is mainly used for a resource cleanup like closing the DB connections or closing the files, etc. Now let's look at the third most important questions. What happens if an exception occurs in finally block? Now till here we were learning that final block is used in exception handling. But what if exception itself occur in finally block? If finally throws a new exception, the original exception is lost. Here in this example, you can see we have defined two exceptions in try block and finally block. If finally block contains an exception, the original exception, like here in the try block, will get lost, and only the finally block exception will be thrown.